In three. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, or good night. You're live with Michael and Stephan. And
Yay!
yay! And we were
It's
just saying now, we're so excited about this because we haven't done a show together in a while. It's been a minute, hasn't it?
one of the pleasures of my life is doing shows with Stephan. It could be called the Stephan and Michael show. I mean, it's really a comedy act. However, there's always a lot of really good content. And I always learn a lot. And being around
Same.
Stephan and the energy between the two of us is just amazing. Very nurturing, supportive, enlightening, and we love to share it with everybody else too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So, okay, Priscilla says hello. I see that in the chat. Um, and today's discussion is going to be our usual format where we just discuss a topic. And our topic today is how to be holistically healthy, wealthy, and wise, as well as maintaining a healthy attitude towards wealth, power, health, and all the things that we need in terms of our life. So I think what we should do, Michael, is start off. I would love to hear what your sort of take is on what it means for you holistically to be healthy, wealthy, and wise.
It's quite simple. It's very, very simple. I didn't say it was easy, but it is definitely simple. There is a mental,
Mm-hmm.
mindset, thoughts, etc., physical, how we take care of our bodies, how we nurture it,
Mm-hmm.
emotional, how we learn to deal with our emotions, spiritual, our spiritual
Mm-hmm.
connection, whether we want to do it ourselves or we allow spirit to help us, an energetic aspect, keeping our energy field clear. It's quite
Right.
simple. If we want it
Right.
all we have to do is mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and energetically be clear and aligned with what we're looking for. It's so simple, but not easy.
No, definitely not. I think you and I have both noticed that over the last couple of months as well, as we've been working through our own things that we're wanting to clear. It's a simple process, but not necessarily easy.
Well, the other point of that is that we're only as strong as our weakest link. And this is what most people fail to realize. So
Mm,
they'll have a place that they love. Okay, I love to exercise. I love to do physical work. I love to go to the gym. Well, you can't do it now with COVID, but you love to exercise. So one area that we love and we're comfortable with, we do. But what is our weakest link? We are never
mm,
stronger than our weakest link. And that weakest link is where we need to take that to the next level. And that strengthens the whole, all of the above. And then we look
right.
for what else is at the weakest link and we move that level up and do it. So if we just focus on the physical, we just focus on the mental, it'll carry us so far, but it's not going to take us across the finish line. And our Achilles heel is going to be what we're least um, attracted to. Okay, in other words, I'll be very vulnerable right now. I've been told that I came back to the planet very strong mentally, physically, spiritually, and energetically. However, when I came back to planet Earth, I came back to heal my emotional body. So my emotional body is my Achilles heel. My emotional body, I had to learn, and I'm having to learn that no matter what anyone else says or does, boom, I can still hold my center. No
Mm,
matter whether people like me, they don't like me, they agree with me, they disagree with me, I go, oh, isn't that interesting? And just allow it to just come and wash over me without me reacting at all.
right. Right.
So, uh, September next month, I will be 77 years old. I'm doing really good in a lot of areas. I just came back from a lot of testing with my doctor. And I'm saying to him, I said, energetically, I'm experiencing a lot of highs, a lot of lows. I'm experiencing
Mm-hmm.
some rage. I'm experiencing some not wanting to do anything. And he looked at me and he said, Michael, it's nothing physical. So in other words, okay, so my physical is doing great. Now comes to look and say, okay, now where is the weak point? Where is the place that I am not holding my center? Where's the place that I'm allowing this to come through? So again, working with the nutritionist is important. Making sure that our diet and what we're taking in is nurturing us and feeding us and supporting us. However, the big thing is looking at where is this coming from? Is it coming from past lives? Is it coming from this lifetime? Is it even ours? Is it a curse, a spell, an implant, black magic, voodoo, sorcery? Is it something that I inherited and absorbed from my mother, my father in the womb or growing up? So there's this whole area, many areas that we can look at and we should look at. However, as an intuitive energy healer, which I am, when a client comes to me or a company or organization comes to me, because a company or organization has almost the exact same profile as an individual. So the question is, what is the energy telling us? What is happening? And forget about what it looks like on the surface. You cannot, you can mathematically, an accountant goes in and says, okay, this is where you're weak and this is what's going on. An accountant can do that, but they cannot tell you energetically what's throwing the company or organization out of whack. An intuitive energy healer, intuitive business coach like myself and like you, Stephan, we can walk into an organization or sit down with an individual and have that holistic approach, that holistic picture, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and energetic, saying, okay, what's really going on here? And the interesting point is, I love the analogy of the seesaw. Okay, you can keep on putting good stuff in, good stuff in, good stuff in, and it looks like nothing's happening. And then the last little pebble that you put on there, all of a sudden, whoosh! It shifts.
The tipping point, yeah.
Thank you. The tipping point. And I got to write that down because that's brilliant.
That's actually a brilliant book by Malcolm Gladwell.
I love Malcolm Gladwell and his book, Blink.
Blink, yes.
And by the way, I just wrote a new book on intuition, Your Silent Thunder. So let me put a plug in there since we're talking about that. Okay, that's this. Okay. And since I'm doing that, I'll do one other plug. This is my other book, Mastering the Human Experience, Your Soul's Journey on Earth, which talks about why we come to Earth, how we get stuck, how we can get free, many of the different issues that come up for us being humans. So again, for myself, and here's the other point, Stephan. I'm really good at what I do. I know that. And I've worked with over 20,000 clients, My background you can see. But the point is, I cannot realistically see myself. So I have a team of people that I work with on all those levels, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and energetic, that says, Michael, am I clear? What am I missing?
Right.
Only a fool, and I'm talking about myself too, only a fool will sit there and say, I can do it alone. I'm strong enough. I'm smart enough. I don't need anyone else. I'm going to do it alone. There are some of us, but I haven't met them on planet Earth yet. And the best psychics, the best channels, the best healers, every one of them, the ones that are really good, have a team of people. They work as a team, not as a lone ranger. They work as a team, combining the energies, combining the skills to help them to maximize their potential, to look at where their blind spots are. We all have blind spots. That's called being human.
So I want to pick up on a few things that you've said there.
I'm sorry, I'm on a roll.
No, 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 please. I'm loving this. Um, but what I find so interesting is you were talking about the emotional, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm getting a bit of feedback. Um, Let me just check if my audio is right. I think it is, yeah. Okay, so you were talking about being aligned at the outset. And that for me is one of the most important parts. So let me be a little bit vulnerable now as well. One of the things that I've been struggling with has been my attitude towards finances and money specifically, and also the type of work that I'm doing. And it's so interesting that you then also spoke about having a team around you, because that's exactly what I've had to do myself in order to adjust my perspective on the type of work that I do, on my attitude towards money as well. And for me to get to that point where I feel holistically wealthy, I've
Mhm.
had to say to myself, okay, what am I not loving about my work right now? What am I wanting to change? And being brutally honest, because as you were also saying, for you, your life path here is to heal your emotional body. And it's so easy for us, especially in the society that we live in, to lose ourselves in what other people want from us.
And what we're good at.
And what we're good at, because
Yeah.
a lot of my friends complain about this, where they say, I'm good at a lot of different things, and then people want me to help them with that, use those skill sets, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm interested in doing it. So they'll end up doing it, and the universe just pushes back and says, but you're not happy, you're not aligned,
Yep.
so you're not going to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. So your stress levels increase because you're not aligned, your finances decrease because your energy output is just not where it should be. So the energy
Yep.
inflow is not going to be aligned. And well, coming to our last thing, wisdom, what would be the least wise thing to do? It would be to not follow our intuition and not follow what our life path is. So I do agree with you that one of the key steps would be to have a group around us
Right.
to constantly check in and say, what are you doing that's throwing you out?
Yep.
Are you actually enjoying this work that you're doing? The previous talk was talking about exercise and stress, or using exercise as a way to combat stress. You can get told, oh, you should be a marathon runner, right? But if you don't enjoy running marathons, you're not going to get anything out of it.
And if it's not your soul's purpose on earth, we come to earth with a contract. Then the contract we make with ourselves, not with anybody else. And the
Right.
contract is, this is what I want to learn. This is what I want to master. That's why I wrote the book, Mastering the Human Experience. May I give you feedback, please, Stephan?
Please.
Your issue with money is not from this lifetime. It's past life. And
Mm,
the other point of that, many of us are coming back to planet Earth, especially this lifetime, this time period, where we want to serve, we want to help, we want to do good, we come in service, okay? But what we forget, we all have religious lifetimes. And the religious lifetime vows is poverty, celibacy, pain, suffering, giving away your power, being silent, being obedient, being invisible, chastity of the eyes. Don't even look people in the eyes. Vows of self-sacrifice, being a victim, being a martyr, and vows of stability. Once we put our mark on that paper, it is for eternity. So a lot of us are carrying past life vows in our energy field from
mm,
being in religious orders that says it's okay to serve, it's okay to give, it's not okay to receive. Or maybe we abused our power in another lifetime, or maybe we stole, or maybe we did something else, or maybe we were bargaining with God that says, God, give me all the pain and suffering, let my brother, mother, sister, father, let them be okay, let them be healed. And then we see a miracle happen because we have the desire and intention, but we believe that we have to have payback and we have to suffer in order for that to go through. Um, Stephan, talk more. I'm I'm sorry. I'm on a roll.
No,
You
please
wake me
no.
up in the morning, and, I'm ready to go. And I just woke
I
up.
see so. This is brilliant.
It was 6 o'clock in the morning here in East Coast, Virginia, in the United States. Go ahead.
Fair enough. But no, so I love that point that you bring up about giving away our power and also the past life contracts and everything that goes hand in hand with that. Because I do believe that in order to be holistically healthy and wise, we have to have a healthy attitude towards power. And I know from this lifetime, power has always been something that you don't take on because that is A, selfish, and B, you are probably going to be detrimental to society around you. So we're taught that from a very young age. And then in taking that on, I noticed in myself that I was starting to not only give away my power, but I was then starting to give away my self-control as well.
Mhm.
Give it all to somebody else. Just what is the one thing? Just ask God for it and it'll happen. When in actual fact, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, spirit, has given us so much power in and of ourselves that if we have a healthy attitude towards it and we use it with altruistic purposes in mind, it can be incredibly uplifting for both ourselves and humanity around us. It's those attitudes, though, that when we give away that power, when we stop being aligned in and of ourselves, our stress levels just go through the roof. And then what happens? You're in a negative vibratory state, and you start welcoming in negative situations. You start to welcome in negative energy because that is what your vibrational field is aligned with.
You attract the negative energy. Can I share something
Yeah,
very important?
please.
I was attending an international seminar. I don't want to mention which country or whatever it is, but this is huge. It's multinational, and um, they talked about whenever there's resistance, you're on the wrong path. Give up.
Mm,
And I blew my gasket. I said,
thank
absolutely
you.
not. I said, it's just the opposite. And I'm going to do my best to demonstrate it. As you're going along and you're coming up against something that you haven't mastered in a previous life, this lifetime, your stress level goes up, 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 up. Let's say here's I'm trying to do this with okay. So as you're coming towards your goal, your stress level, your resistance goes inverse square proportional. It goes up through the roof. And then a lot of people say, I need to give up. This isn't the right path for me. But the truth is, if you kept going a little bit more, boom,
Yeah,
now as a
here's
runner,
that tipping point again.
right. When I was running in high school, cross country, I would get to the point every cell in my body was aching. My lungs were ready to burst. I just my whole body said, "Give up! Don't stop it." But if you go a little bit further, everything breaks. It's almost like a bubble breaking, a
Mm,
balloon breaking, and all of a sudden you had lots of energy and you could go again. It's called getting your second wind. Now, I shouldn't say a lot. There are spiritual teachings and workshops and teachers that say if you are coming up against resistance, you're in the wrong place. And I don't want to say, but um, that's actually could be telling you that this is something that you have built a wall against.
mm,
I'm talking about even relationships, intimacy, finances, taking care of yourself, putting yourself first rather than giving all your power away. We are taught. One of the articles I wrote was on a victim, rescuer, persecutor triangle. Once we're on that triangle, we're in trouble until we get to the point that says, okay, there are no victims. We don't need to rescue anyone. And it's okay to observe life without having to fix everybody and everything or control everybody and everything.
mm.
And we need to nurture ourselves. Now, Stephan, I'm gonna. I hope you're not gonna mind me being very personal here about you.
Please
Okay,
go for it.
you're one of the most caring, sensitive, giving people I've ever met.
Oh,
You're
thank you.
absolutely amazing. In your brain, in that vault on top of your shoulders, you have so much information, so much wisdom, so much ability. And I see you helping me. I see you helping a lot of other people. Um, and what I question is you are comfortable giving, 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 giving. Excuse me, Michael, too, me. I give and give and give and nurture, 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 protect, protect, protect. But do we allow the doorways to be open for us to receive love, financial support, acknowledgement, etc.? So we are both givers, we are both caretakers, we're both nurturers. And the point is how, and this I think is true for both of us and for maybe many people listening, what is it going to take for us to give to ourselves? What is it going to take for us not to open the door a little bit so we can receive minimal substance to cover our bills, but what's it going to take the doors off at the hinges to allow all this to come through?
So I'm really glad that you raised that because that is definitely something that I have, as you know, struggled with over the years. Because there seems to be this mental block towards accepting blessings and people giving back to me. And I think a lot of people actually suffer from that as well. And that's why I'm so happy that we chose the title holistically healthy, wealthy, and wise. Because if you come back to the wealth aspect, that does not necessarily have to just be financial wealth, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's an aspect of it, absolutely, for sure. But it's not the be all and end all of it. There's a lot more to wealth that we can accept in. It can be assistance from others. It can be just commendations from people as well. And the thing is that when we, and you're actually really good on calling me out on this when you give me a compliment and I go, oh no, it's not that, not that great a thing. And you're like, can you just accept the damn compliment, Stephan? And one day it actually made me sit back and think, and also when I was prepping for this talk today, that effectively what we're doing when we deny compliments or when we deny assistance that is being offered to us, whether that's financial, whether that is labor, whatever the case may be, when we do that, the universe goes, oh, okay, so you don't want more. And not
Absolutely.
only that, because then you're not being grateful,
Yep.
right? When instead we should just be able to walk forward and go, thank you so much for saying that, or thank you for your contribution, or thank you for your assistance. And the universe goes, oh, you really like that? Great. Let me show you how it gets better.
There's a statement that someone said to me one time. He said, keep saying this statement over and over. How much better can it get? So you find a penny, a nickel on the ground, a dime, you go, oh, thank you very much. How much better can it get? So you're telling the universe, open a doorway, open a doorway, open a doorway, open a doorway. Stephan, if we ever treated, if all of us, I'm talking to the listeners also, if we allowed ourselves to receive as much as we want to give to others, we want to nurture others. Look, all of us on the spiritual path have an issue. The issue is we love to give, we love to take care of other people. We don't want to be selfish. But if you are selfish, you do take care of yourself first. Then you're giving from an overflowing cup. You're not giving from your principle. If you're giving from your principle, you're draining your energy. allow the universe to fill your cup to overflowing, allow the universe to support you. And from that overflow, you can give to many other people. You have time for projects to help other people, etc.
It
Go on.
no, well, no, please continue.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. So one of the things that just came to me as you were talking there is I feel as though there's a strange fear attached to accepting in blessings and accepting assistance even from the universe. And one of the things that calls to mind is a quote from one of my favorite movies, actually, Doctor Strange, which, I mean, I'm a superhero movie nut, but that is one of my favorite ones. And the line in particular is when the Ancient One is talking to Doctor Strange, just as he's sort of starting his journey. And she says, "Isn't it interesting that you've spent your entire life looking through a keyhole to see what's on the other side, only to be told that that door can be opened and you run screaming in fear?
It's never been locked.
It's never been locked."
The door's never been locked.
But that is what we do, though. We look through this keyhole saying, "Oh, you know, I wish life would be better. I wish I was healthier. I wish I was wealthier. I wish I had this. I wish I had that." And like we said at the outset, it's very simple to just open that door that has never been locked, but it's not easy.
No, I'm going to disagree with you. It is extremely easy.
Okay.
Except we've been tied by authority figures from the past that didn't want us stepping into our power or our wisdom or our knowing. So you're growing up as a child, your parents know best, your teachers know best. Follow the rules of the police. I had police violate me a couple of times growing up, and I just never, that was it for me as far as trusting the police. But see, it only takes one or two times to shatter our whole reality and change our reality.
Right.
And so you've got parents, you've got all these authority figures. I actually go through that in my book on intuition. We're programmed to give our power that everyone else knows more and better for us than we do. Everyone can tell us, okay, you go for these tests and it's going to tell you your aptitude. This is what you should do as a career. You should be an accountant. Well, you've been an accountant for 20 lifetimes. That's boring as heck for you. What you want to do is be a musician, or you want to be something else. So the whole point is, I'm going to go back to soul, 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 soul. What does your soul want from you? What have you agreed to do in this lifetime? What is your soul's purpose? What's your soul's direction? What's blocking your soul or blocking you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, or energetically? And I'll say it again. This is true for an individual, a family, for a business, a corporation. And I want to bring up a point here, Stephan, and I hope you don't mind. I'm going to compliment you again.
Thank you.
I would like the radio audience to watch the energy flow between Stephan and myself. It is absolutely and totally honoring, respectful, trusting. And Stephan and I have only known each other, what, about a year now? A little over a year? Not even a year.
6 months, I think, 7 months.
But from the time I met him, it was like, we know each other. We trust each other. I'm getting chills down my back. We are going to support each other through that doorway of success, happiness, health, wealth, etc. So again, finding people who you can surround yourself with that will not allow you to sabotage yourself, will not allow you to put yourself down. So, you know, if Stephan says anything, he's having a bad day or whatever he may be, or having a bad thought, I'll remind him, say, Stephan, who's talking? Stephan, where's that coming from? You're worth more.
Right.
I love
Right.
you. I believe you. I support you. I'm here for you. Stephan knows he can call me 24/7, 365. Doesn't matter. I'm going to be there. And it works both ways. So
Mm-hmm.
the point is, this is abundance. When we can have the circle of friends that totally honor, respect, support us on all levels throughout all dimensions. And Stephan could tell me anything, it wouldn't shock me. Now, when we have that type of freedom, when we have that type of friendship, when we have that type of support, everything changes. We are not islands. We are not here to travel this road by ourselves. We have to create teams. And the big thing is setting up and attracting your soul's family. Now,
Mm.
what I've been told is my soul family is not here on earth right now. It's told I was part of the Yeshua group, and my group will come at a later point in time to help the earth. But they said, Michael, one of the reasons you're so lonely is because your soul family is not here this lifetime. So I've been traveling the planet. I've been to 55 countries so far. And although I could have many years ago stayed in the corporate world and made a lot of money, I chose to travel and learn about health and healing and helping people to transform. And I'm very happy about that. However, I've got to focus more now on creating the other areas of emotional healing
Mm-hmm.
and healing finances and relationships. That's another area. But anytime we've abused our power in the past, like I know that I've been in royalty, I've been king, I've been other things, I've had a lot of power. And coming back into this lifetime, um, okay, let me say it another way and I'll give it back to you, Stephan. In other lifetimes, I've led the armies of Rome, Egypt, Israel, Greece, Japan, etc. I've been a warrior many lifetimes. Many of us died in battle. And this lifetime, my job is to bring the warriors home, to protect the feminine,
Mm.
to protect the feminine, protect the sensitivity, to bring the warriors home, to support the women in achieving their goals. This was the dedication that I came in with this lifetime. And I can feel the emotions when I say that. Um, this lifetime, I didn't come in to have a Learjet. I didn't come in to have a Lamborghini. Um, I came in to help people, to travel, to inspire, to help people. Back to you, Stephan.
So I actually want to take everything that you've just said to kind of the next, not next level, but the next step, because you've touched on some beautiful points there. And it just makes me think that what is so important in order to find your power and in order to be holistically well across all areas of life is, and coming back to the team as well, is to not only have a team around you, but have a team around you that are non-judgmental so that you have the space to absolutely be brutally honest with yourself as to what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if, like you say, if society says to you, you need to be an accountant, or if society or past lives dictated to you that you should be a warrior, and in this lifetime, you decide, no, that is not what I want to do. My free will does not go in that direction. I actually want to be doing the following. I want to be an artist, a musician, a healer, etc. Right? If you don't have that ability to be brutally honest with yourself as to what you want, and it sounds silly because if you ask most people, well, what do you want? They go, well, that's easy. I want this. No, but do you actually want that? Because the only way to be holistically well is to have that honesty with yourself. And I come back, I cannot stress this enough. The only way I see that being possible for most people is to have your team of advisors around you who are able to give you that space to support you in whatever you decide without judgment.
Well, it's interesting. One time when I was in England, I had someone that was working on my team who was a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, psychologist, and she brought me a man who was a murderer. She got him out of prison for the day, and I sat there and I listened to the man, and he wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise, but I got in a couple of sentences in that hour and a half. And later she said, "You've gotten further with him in one sitting than she's ever seen anyone else ever get with this guy." Now, I didn't think I accomplished much, but she knew the history.
Mm,
Now, I I have learned to, okay, I'm going to do something. Shh, the warrior. I have
mm,
gone into a sacred centered place when I work with clients where they could tell me anything, whatever they've done. We've Paulo Coelho said something very interesting. Uh, every warrior of the light has lied, stolen, betrayed a friend, killed people, da 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 da. And I'm talking about over lifetimes. I'm not talking in
mm.
this lifetime. And that is why we're a warrior of the light. We want to do it better. We want to do it different. We want to improve our karmic and cosmic bank account. We want to be a
Right.
better person. So as we move up in our level of frequency and vibration, which all this relates back to, we automatically start bringing in and attracting better people, better situations. Um, I wanted to say something else real quick. And every test on planet Earth, the only thing the test will measure is ego and personality. It will not measure soul.
Right.
Intuitively, when I sit with someone, I'm measuring their soul. But every physical test on this planet, or aptitude test, job test, whatever it is, I worked for a big corporation one time and they were hiring CEOs. They said, "Oh, we need to test them more." I said, "No, you need to call me on the phone and I'll tell you on the phone instantly whether to hire them or not." So our mentality on this planet is test. The test will show you where you're supposed to be. Again, there's a Texas a statement I learned in Texas. It's called, and what I've learned is that forget about all the tests. Look at the soul. What's the person's soul's purpose? What's the person's soul's desire? And and you can only do that by reading the person's energy.
Mm,
Now, most people will know, oh, I really like to bake cakes or make cupcakes or to throw parties for kids or arrange flowers or do something. And it's sitting in the back of their minds, but they're not realizing that their soul is calling upon them to do that, that is the way to their joy and happiness.
mm.
So again, you know, Stephan, we are both coaches, helping people and helping companies and organizations. You and I both do that. But ideally, what we're doing is healing. What we're doing is transforming. What we're doing is opening the doorway for the people, the organizations to have health, wealth, happiness, joy, etc. Holistically.
Absolutely.
Back to you.
So, and I'm not really gone blank, but there's a lot that I wanted to say then around that.
I know I can feel there's this information wants to come through you all at once. You're saying,
Exactly.
oh, which one do I open
Where do
first?
I start? So, okay, I think I'll go back kind of to the beginning, but also further to your point that you just made now around recognizing what direction your soul wants to go in. And earlier you mentioned that, when you are on a path, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be easy just because you're aligned. So you're coming up against this, this barrier, and there's all these trials and tribulations that you may have to face. But the important thing to realize is that if you are also open, the universe will always provide you all the tools, people, support that you need in order to overcome those challenges. And I see that in my own life because when I'm aligned and on a path that resonates with my soul purpose, which right now I finally realized that my sole purpose is actually just to have fun, because I've been far too serious for far too long, and my sole purpose is to finally just enjoy
Mhm.
life, right? And I've made that my sole purpose. Sorry, my sole purpose right now. And it's interesting that, like you say, just because I found that alignment, the challenges didn't go away. They were still there, right? But suddenly I started to notice all of these blessings, all of this assistance, all these people lining up to help me in
Mhm.
what I wanted to achieve and what I wanted to do and rooting for me to get there. And suddenly these challenges, whilst they didn't go away, they didn't seem insurmountable anymore because I'd invited in this tribe to help me. I'd stepped into my own power, and people were more than willing to offer a little bit of their power to help me because, like you say, we are so good at helping others that they are just so happy and so willing to then assist. So to our listeners today, I'd like to say that maybe use that, since, like you, as you also mentioned, we're so hung up on tests always. Use that as your litmus test. You know, if you are wanting to do something and you're suddenly thinking, well, I should just give up because the challenges are too great. Take a second to have a look around and go, okay, are these challenges actually too great? Or is the universe just not offering me assistance in overcoming them? And if so, why is that?
I want to jump in here if I may,
Please.
because there's another part here, and I'm feeling tears. So if I'm feeling tears, I know it's got to be good. I want to talk about vulnerability,
Mm,
and we are taught to keep on a straight face. We're taught to be strong. We're taught to not ask for help. We're taught not to let people know our pain. We're taught all these things. And the truth is, Stephan, you've been totally vulnerable with me, and I've been totally vulnerable with you. It's not, it's like whether we're having a good day, a bad day, or we're hitting against a wall going, what the heck's going on? Um, you've been helping me in certain areas. I've been helping you in certain areas. But for us to, um, okay, I'll share it a different way. I had a spiritual teacher 40 years ago who said, Michael, imagine the largest factory in the world with lots of machinery. And I said, got it. They said, double it, triple it, make it even bigger. And she said, Michael, your job this lifetime is to take apart every one of those machines, every bolt, every screw, totally disassemble everything. And um, and what's happening, and I even in a conversation with someone yesterday, I said, I am a warrior. There's no question about that. I'm strong, I'm powerful. I said, but I've put aside my shield. I've put aside my helmet. I've put aside my armor suit. I've put my spear aside, my sword. I'm totally vulnerable. However, I'm also totally self responsible. So within that vulnerability, I can be totally present with someone.
mm,
I could be totally non judgmental. But how many people, and I was on a phone conversation with someone yesterday, they talked the whole time. They very seldom they ever stop and take a breath. Very seldom they say, Michael, who are you? What are you about?
mm,
What's your journey? How's your heart doing? So Stephan, you and I do it automatically with each other. We just tune into each other and we're present with each other. Priscilla's another sweetheart. And we have certain people to where we can totally be ourselves without having to put on a mask or facade. And that vulnerability allows us to process whatever the resistance is, the fears, anxieties. Now, I didn't say it's easy, because there's parts of us that are going like this, going, wait a minute, you're exposing yourself. Wait a minute. People can say things to you that can hurt you. But at the same time, being able to be that vulnerable and that present, I think, is one of the greatest keys into creating the health, the wealth, the holistic well-being. I mean, if we go where we're strong, okay, no big deal. We're strong there already. But going to that weak point, going to that vulnerability, going to the spot where our pain is. Now, there was actually a man I met a long time ago, and I'm going to model it for. He said, Michael, I see my goal and I go for it. I don't care how many bullets or arrows get into me. He said, I shut down and I go for it. Mm-hmm. I shut down and I go for it. Well, if you're shutting down, what good is it?
Right.
Now, again, the level of vulnerability, the level of exposure is huge. But if you're ever going to develop a real relationship with someone, an intimate relationship, a connection, you connect once at that deep level. And then you can go on and do business. You can do whatever you want because you've made a connection. But without that connection, I find it a lot more difficult to work with people, a lot more difficult to move forward in alignment, because I personally need that kind of connection. Right. I mean, I've met people, they're just good at what they do. And, whether it's clearing a mailing list or doing something, that's fine. But when I have that special connection, you and I had it the first minute we met, Stephan. And that forms a solid foundation.
Absolutely.
And you cannot build a skyscraper or anything big and meaningful, in my opinion, without having that kind of relationship with ourselves as well as with other people. Back to you.
So we have, I think, just about 5 minutes left before we have. I know, can you believe it?
I love being on these things with you. Go on.
The time goes so quickly, it's insane. But what I wanted to say or ask was, as we start to wrap this up, in a nutshell, what would you say are the 3 main criteria that we would need, or that a person would need, in order to be holistically healthy, wealthy, and wise? What are the tools that they would need to employ from your perspective? I have my 3, but yeah.
Okay, for me, it's faith, trust, and conviction, and conviction to self. Faith, trust, and conviction to get on the path, to stay on the path, to know we're worthy, to know we deserve, and to keep moving forward regarding of what it looks like, and get help and support. You do it, I do it, many other people do it well. Go to someone. Here's the funny part. The question is, you can go to someone you're comfortable with, or you can go to someone that scares the living heck out of you. If you're really brave, go to someone that challenges you, and loves and supports you. So back to you.
So for me, I would say it starts off with brutal honesty with self. Mm-hmm. That for me is one of the most important things, because I do this with my clients too, where they say, oh, I want to be wealthy. And I go, okay, what does that mean to you though? What is that for you? And be honest, and they'll go, oh, well, I want to be a multimillionaire. Okay, do you actually want to be a multimillionaire?
Yep.
Or is that just what society has told you? Because there's no judgment here. I'm not going to judge you on this. What do you actually consider to be wealthy? And then when they sit back, they go, well, actually, I just want a home for myself and my family that I don't need to worry about. And I want enough money in the bank that my children have everything that they need and a little bit more for what they want.
Yep.
Okay, great. Now we can start working towards how that works for you, because now your why is there. That brutal honesty is so important because, I mean, I saw that with myself when I was a youngster. I thought that I really wanted to be a multimillionaire because that's what, the world around me kind of said I should be in corporate, have the corner office, work in a glass tower, all these things, only to realize after some time that that wasn't coming from me. That was coming from society and people around me.
Absolutely.
And that brutal honesty was difficult because, and to your point, that vulnerability wasn't there. I had not allowed myself to be vulnerable enough to be honest with myself. So I would say, first of all, it's honesty. It's then having the team around you who can, to borrow your phrase, call bullshit whenever you say something or do something that is not aligned. And then thirdly, it's just being sufficiently okay with yourself, non-judgmental towards yourself, to commit to your aligned
Yep.
path. Don't worry what other people think or want from you, etc. Do what feels good for you. And like our previous speaker said, it's the same thing as putting your mask on first in an airplane. Look after your own needs first before you start worrying about what other people think, want, or need from you. And to me, that is the quickest and easiest way to become holistically healthy, wealthy, and wise. Because if you're aligned, well, your health is going to improve because your stress levels are going to go down. Your finances will start to improve because you're resonating at the right frequency, and wealth will improve in general because more people want to support you. And lastly, what is the best kind of wisdom? It's self-knowledge. It's knowing thyself.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my kind of takeaway. Any final thoughts from you, Michael, before we wrap up?
Just that we are all doing the best we can based upon what we know and what we've been
Mhm.
taught. And you're here, I'm here, lots of other people are here to support people through their process. And please, 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 I understand that a lot of the programming is do it alone. You got to do it yourself. And what I'm saying is absolutely not. I would not be alive today had I tried to do it myself without
Right,
getting the support and guidance of many other people along the path.
right,
And,
absolutely.
Stephan's brilliant. I'm brilliant. Find people that you resonate with, and you can have more than one person, or you can put together a mix and match of people that'll help you
Mm,
as you need it, or working with you long term as a coach. But
right,
please, please allow yourself to be loved, supported, nurtured, challenged, and we're not judgmental. Our job on this planet is to take you through the eye of the needle.
absolutely. Michael, as always, it's just such a great pleasure to have these chats, and thank you for agreeing to be on the Wellness Lifestyle Conference with us today live. Thank you and for getting up early in your morning to be here. Really thankful.
Well, as you can see, it takes me a long time to wake up and start going. Um, um.
Not even slightly.
No, I know. My eyes open up. And I'm ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. And to our listeners and viewers, stay tuned. The next link is available on our Facebook page and website. I believe Priscilla is up next with the psychic chat. So that is fantastic. That is coming at 2 p.m. Central European and Central African time, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard. So please do tune in for that. And Michael, thank you so much. Looking forward to having you back with us again very soon.